Welcome to this 2020 award ceremony of the King's College. I'm Mark Hidgley, the provost here at King's, and my colleagues and I are excited to celebrate with you tonight the nominees and winners of 19 awards among students, faculty, and staff. Would you please pray with me as we begin our ceremony together? Father, when we think of truth, beauty, and goodness, we know that we're thinking of you. You are the definition of these things. And as we celebrate tonight the achievements of students, faculty, and staff here at the King's College, keep us mindful of your amazing character and the reflection of you as we celebrate each other. In Jesus' name, and amen. And now I'd like to turn the program over to our president, Tim Gibson.
All right, well, thank you, Mark. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be with you this evening. I not only get to hand out some of the awards tonight, but also have the privilege of introducing you to our 2020 senior speaker. So many of you know Jackson Fordyce as a tenant of the well-known Guy's Apartment 1407. Others may know him as a longtime student service representative, member of our interregnum committee, or as one of tonight's nominees for the King's College 2020 Harriet Tubman Award. Jackson has been described by faculty as enthusiastic and diligent, with a dash of humor in all he does, eager to help in every and any situation, and committed to the success of his fellow students. But lesser known is the fact that Jackson has his own IMDb profile and was actually in the 2010 movie True Grit. Most of his fans actually want to know whether he'll be reprising his vlog that he had some time ago. And so with that, it's my pleasure to introduce to you your class of 2020 senior speaker, Jackson.
Thank you, President Gibson. That was a fantastic introduction. I was smiling the entire time. Thank you again for that. And thank you to all the students, parents, friends, faculty, and staff for joining us this evening to celebrate those who make this one of the most special and unique colleges in the country. It is an honor to speak to you this evening. I've spent a lot of time thinking about what I should say tonight given our current circumstances. I can make jokes about the pandemic. I could talk about how none of us expected to be sharing an award ceremony through a computer screen. I could encourage my fellow seniors as we enter the job force. But instead, I want to use this time tonight to celebrate, reminisce, and remember the unforgettable 4 years we have spent together at the King's College. Over the last several weeks, I've reached out to many of you and asked what were some of your favorite memories from your time at King's. Hopefully, some of these will make you laugh, smile, and recall the amazing time we have had together. We studied all night in the Hanover Lounge. We also used the coffee machine on the second floor of the Hanover Lounge until the maintenance man told us to go home. We've witnessed Drew Knudsen get 7 interceptions in the Theopolitical football game. And we've also been kicked out of Central Park for the Theopolitical football game because someone didn't fill out a permit. We danced a Heads Will Roll at the Student Union dance party. And we also blew out the speakers at the spring formal. We've loved supporting our friends in a musical or play, especially when the King's players would provide hot chocolate and desserts during the Christmas radio shows. We've worked at our dream internships that ended up being unpaid. We've eaten hundreds of slices of Grotto's pizza and thrown away thousands of slices of Grotto's pizza. We've celebrated countless birthdays in 1407 at 95 Wall Street, and we've warned the incoming freshmen about 1407. We've laughed, cried, and celebrated a winning interregnum. We've also just cried during interregnum. We picnicked in Prospect Park, Central Park, and Bryant Park, and we will all miss Dr. Parks. We took one final group picture at Fall Retreat, and I look forward to taking another as graduates in the near future. But there are so many more memories that weren't mentioned tonight, memories that are known between just a few friends, personal memories that are between you and God. That is my biggest wish and encouragement for you all this evening, to remember each other. Remember the memories from Intro to Philosophy. Remember being in a crowded subway car during the great race with your house. Remember the post-church brunches with your friends. Please do not let these memories end after tomorrow's commencement. I also wanted to take the time to remember our dear friend, Leah Aerosmith. We are heartbroken that she is not here with us to share this moment with us this evening, but I know she is in our presence, celebrating with us in all of our graduation festivities. I would like to close with a quote from a graduating senior that I believe sums up our experience as the class of 2020. I asked, what was a special memory to you about our graduating class? Here's the answer. Honestly, most of the spontaneous stuff like nights down by the piers or on the rooftops of Wall and West, or supporting sporting events and lounging at fall retreat, the moments we just got to be with each other, being ourselves and bonding because of it. It's been such an honor to spend these last several years with you. I look forward to seeing you all in person and celebrating our time together. Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. I will now pass it on to Coach Brian Finley.
Thank you, Jackson. On behalf of the King's College Athletic Department, I am honored to present 2 awards. The Scholar Athlete Award is presented to the senior who has the highest GPA and who fulfilled all their team's practice and game commitments. We had a special group of 11 seniors this year who together combined for an impressive 3.35 GPA. Our nominees are Jackson Kane. Jackson was the president of the House of Reagan and captain of the men's soccer team. He was on both the USCAA and HVIAC all-academic teams. Josiah Simons. Josiah was the president of the House of Bonhoeffer and captain of the men's soccer team. He was on both the USCAA All-American and USCAA all-academic teams. Leah Thomas. Leah was the House of Truth Scholar and played both women's soccer and women's volleyball. Michael Wenzel. Michael was vice president of the King's College Investment Club and worked in our athletic office. He was a member of the HVIAC all-conference team for men's soccer, and he was on both the USCAA and HVIAC all-academic teams. This year's Scholar Athlete Award winner was also a faculty assistant to Dr. Brand in history and a research intern at the Truth Exchange. With a GPA of 3.94, she earned a spot on both the USCAA and HVIAC all-academic teams. Our Scholar Athlete is Leah Thomas. Congratulations, Leah. Our second award is the Athlete of the Year Award. This award is presented to the senior who meets all their team's practice and game commitments. The recipient must be in good academic standing, active in the King's community, and a positive representative of the college both on and off campus. Our nominees are Daniel Fuenzalita. Daniel was president of the House of Bonhoeffer, and he was a 4-year starter on the men's soccer team. Annie Kopak. Annie was the social media associate for the House of Truth. She played soccer and volleyball and made the HVIAC all-academic team. She held internships at Paramount Pictures and Searchlight Pictures and was a senior student services representative. Christina Lewis. Christina worked in the King's College Athletic Department, and during her time at King's, she played volleyball, basketball, soccer, and also ran both cross country and track. She was also an intern for the Red Bulls professional soccer team. Josiah Simons. Josiah was also helmsman for the House of Bonhoeffer and was a staff writer for marketing and communications. He also worked in student services, and he was a member of the HVIAC all-academic team. This year's Athlete of the Year was a captain for the men's soccer team and helped lead them to the USCAA National Championships in 2018. He was president of our Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and most recently was an intern at the World Evangelical Alliance in the United Nations. Our Athlete of the Year is Daniel Fuenzalita. Congratulations, Dan.
Thank you, Dr. Finley. On behalf of the 2019 and 2020 Council, I would like to present 4 awards for the Council this year. The first award is the Student Services Award. This award recognizes a graduating senior who has made consistent and positive contributions to the student body without having served on the Council. The recipient does not serve to be praised or recognized, but instead serves without letting his or her left hand know what his or her right hand is doing. The recipient does not have a title that connotes prestige or entails obligation. the recipient considers their identity in Christ's title enough. The council seeks to consider those servants among us and recognize them for their contributions to our community. This year, the 4 nominees are Eddie Van Zant, who throughout the year has shown a deep love, respect, and passion for the King's community. He has poured vast amounts of his time into writing about prevalent issues and talking to student leaders so he better understands the issues at hand. He has served his house as Chamberlain for 2 years and has still continued to serve his house and the student body as a beloved member of our students. Next up is Holly Chevelle. She has been heavily involved in the student body, both in her house and orgs, for all 4 years on campus. She has only held one official leadership position while at King's. Nonetheless, she has been constant in her commitment to helping build the King's community, and she is widely recognized as a joyful, wise presence within the student body. Next up is Abby Smith, who has served various capacities throughout her 4 years of being a student at the King's College. Her freshman year, she excelled enough as an FA after just one semester to become an FA after one semester, meeting with students and helping them pass Intro to Politics. And as a senior, she has served as the chair of Interregnum and led her team and the entire student body in a year-long conversation about progress. No matter the age or role, Abby has always served our student body in leadership and love. And lastly, Paris Welker Waddell. She has served in small but very meaningful ways. Her positive disposition, kind heart, and commitment to excellence helps her fellow students to strive for more. Her sense of honor and morality has always been a positive light within the student body. It is oftentimes people like her who lead lives of integrity and have the kindness of hearts that make the greatest impact on our institution, on our community, and on a friend. This year, the winner for the Student Services Award is Eddie Van Zant. Next up is the Outstanding Service to the House System. The Outstanding Service to the House System Award recognizes a staff or faculty member who consistently finds ways to serve his or her house and or encourage his or her house to serve others. This year, our nominees are Dr. Anthony Bradley. His dedication and love to the men of Churchill is unquestionable. He consistently checks on the well-being of the exec team and house members at large. The House of Churchill will not be the same without his leadership. He is also a mentor to so many students at King's. He recognizes the stresses college life can have on a student and does everything he can to make sure all his students strive. Also, Chris Jocelyn. He has been invaluable for the exec team of Reagan during this unprecedented year. He has provided guidance to support the house members and to the scholars of each and every house. He brings a lot of institutional knowledge, and his values for connecting with students at King's is undeniable. Next up is Letitia Mosqueda. She is at every Thatcher exec team meeting, the majority of Thatcher events, and a confidant to multiple Thatchers, freshmen as well as upperclassmen, and she prays for the exec team weekly. A major reason why Thatcher has such a strong tradition is because she is there to keep them in the thoughts of the exec team. She keeps them accountable to their goals and mission and truly serves her house more than what is expected. Lastly is Denise Stokeville. She is always thinking of new ways to make academic advising easier and more helpful, but she is even greater as an associate house advisor for Ten Boom. She is always checking in on the exec team and is always there to serve as the mom of the house. She is a great source of wisdom to the house and shares this wisdom wherever she can. This year, she has been a panelist for Ten Boom's Honor Talk, Alcohol Talk, Academic and Mental Health panel, and she is always present at Ten Boom Tuesdays to help in whatever way she can. This year, the winner is Letitia Mosqueda. Next up is the Staff of the Year Award. This award recognizes a staff member who has made exceptional efforts to serve our community with excellence, charity, and love. First up is David Leedy. His steadfast mentorship and service to the student body is unparalleled. Not only has he been a continual blessing to the House of Churchill as their advisor, but he has been a blessing to the King's student body at large for about 20 years. He truly cares about making the student experience worthwhile. Next is Andrea Lopez. As a first-year advisor for the House of Truth, her mentorship has already had a positive effect on the experience of numerous House members. Every week, she assists the exec team in trying to find ways to better help the girls. In truth, she also leads the student service team with grace and truth. She is truly a servant to the students, and she wants what's best for all. Next is Sam Ryan. It's hard to imagine any one person holding an institution together, but Sam Ryan is that person for the King's College. And she does go a long way to keep the school running. Whether it applies to getting events, she helps wrangle the professors to get their syllabi in. It's almost impossible to articulate how big of a role she plays at our school. And lastly is Joey Willis. He has been willing to support not only members of the cabinet and council, but also the entire student body. He has dedicated many hours to helping students by being a great listener, a wise counsel, and an honorable person. He is truly a servant leader in our community and is a light to everyone he helps. This year's winner is Joey Willis. And lastly is the Faculty of the Year Award. This award recognizes a faculty member who has made exceptional effort to serve our student body with excellence, charity, and love. This year's nominees are Dr. Joshua Kinlaw, who has served our community so well this year. This year, he has been one faculty member who continually engaged the student body on reviewing namesakes, in addition to being an involved professor and always caring about what he's teaching. He has done a great job transitioning classes fully online as we've turned remote and continue to show his excitement for the course material and well-being of our students. Next up is Dr. Joseph Griffith. He has leaned into his first year of teaching at the King's College with an exceptional level of enthusiasm and passion. He cares for his students. His care for his students is evident, and his seemingly constant balance of encouragement to rise to an academic challenge while being understanding of the stresses that comes with being a college student. He has eagerly stepped forward to help out and speak at Inviso, and has helped promote student life in partnering with the House of Lewis for one of their Wisdom Nights. He has shown true love and care for the members of this community and obviously exerts his best efforts to pursue those connections with excellence. Next up is Dr. Dami Kabiawu. She is dedicated to engaging the student body on a personal level. She will spend hours talking to students and giving genuine life advice in office hours. She is honest yet encouraging and is always willing to support and serve her students. She also makes it feel more feasible to be a woman in finance and is a great person to talk to as a female student. Dr. Kabiawu encourages you to stand up for what you believe in and for what is good through her actions as she does the same throughout the school. And lastly is Dr. David Tubbs. He has shown excellence in teaching through the various elective courses he has offered. Not only has he been an outlet for him to combine his own personal interests and passions for teaching, but has simultaneously been tempered to match the interests of the students of this college. Dr. Tubbs has shown an immense level of compassion and understanding with seniors this year as they have attempted to navigate the sorrows and disappointments that the coronavirus has brought to the end of their undergraduate career. However, he has been such a source of encouragement and honesty to his students and has inspired them to continue pursuing excellence with humility. And this year's winner is Dr. David Tubbs. Congratulations all four winners and all the nominees for these awards. I now pass it off to Dr. Mark Hidgley.
It's my privilege to present the two faculty awards at this time. The Faculty Service Award first, which recognizes a faculty member chosen by their peers who has provided exceptional service to the King's College during this current academic year. The nominees for this award are Dr. Kimberly Reeve, Associate Professor of Business, and Dr. David Tubbs, Associate Professor of Politics. Dr. Reeve this year served on the Namesake Review Committee. She joined as a key member of the newly expanded President's Cabinet and was active as the faculty advisor for the House of Queen Elizabeth I. One colleague described her as, quote, eager to jump in cheerfully whenever asked. Dr. David Tubbs was also on the Namesake Review Committee and distinguished himself this year as faculty advisor both to the Interregnum Committee and to the House of Susan B. Anthony. In the context of his service, one colleague noted that he did much to lift the spirits of the King's community and to bolster student connection when it was especially needed. The winner of this year's Faculty Service Award is Dr. David Tubbs. Congratulations, Dr. Tubbs, and thank you for all you do to make King's a very special place. The next award is the Faculty Teaching Award, which recognizes a faculty member chosen by their peers who's demonstrated exceptional effectiveness in pedagogy at King's during the current academic year. The nominees for this award are Dr. Joshua Blander, Assistant Professor of Philosophy, and Dr. Joshua Kinlaw, Assistant Professor of History and Humanities. One colleague who co-taught a course with Dr. Blander remarked, quote, I need to learn to teach like this, exclamation point. Students have also mentioned how impressed they have been with his transition to remote teaching this semester. Dr. Kinlaw's teaching has been described as, quote, spanning a variety of disciplines and, quote, marked by a keen exploration of texts and subjects on an intimate level. He's not only invested in imparting knowledge of the material, but also aims to inculcate a true love of the subject in his students. The winner of this year's Faculty Teaching Award is Dr. Joshua Blander. Congratulations, Dr. Blander, and thank you for inspiring the students day after day and year after year here at King's. And now I'm pleased to turn the program back over to President Gibson.
It's my privilege right now to introduce two of the staff awards that essentially parallel the faculty awards to some degree. The first is the Staff Service Award, and it recognizes a staff member chosen by their peers who has gone above and beyond to serve and support the King's College community during the current academic year. We had a plethora of nominees for this award, I'm pleased to report. First is Jennifer Anderson. And in her nomination, what we repeatedly saw were words such as competence and quiet dedication and an unfailing willingness to help. Next was Paul Middlecoff, our registrar, who has a tremendous reputation for attention to detail and willingness to follow through on tracking down whatever issues may ail a particular IT system or student information record. But beyond that, Paul was highlighted for his tremendous effort in helping us pivot from in-person delivery to remote distance learning during the COVID-19 crisis. And finally, Miss Samantha Ryan was nominated. And Sam was highlighted for being quiet. She probably doesn't, frankly, appreciate the fact that she has been named so many times this evening, which is part of the joy of working with her. She is very humble and yet completely graceful and diligent in her efforts across the campus, regardless of what project she's asked to undertake. And so it is my privilege to announce that this year's recipient of the Staff Service Award is Samantha Ryan. So Sam, congratulations. Next, we'll move on to the Staff Leadership Award. The Staff Leadership Award recognizes a staff member chosen by their peers who has demonstrated exemplary leadership, influence, and direction during the current academic year. Our first nominee this evening is Megan Dishman. Megan's nomination package included several references to phrases such as someone who seems to do it all and someone who lives out good, brave, and ready every day. Next, Dr. Mark Hidgley, our provost. Mark has demonstrated a remarkable leadership capacity during this year, and particularly in the last several weeks, as with grace and class, he has undertaken the unexpected transition to remote distance learning, a revisiting of grading criteria, and is still thinking ahead on what best practices might serve King's in the future that we're learning as we go. Our next nominee is Noah Hunter, down at our admissions office, who's demonstrated a calm and encouraging demeanor, regardless of the transitions organizationally, as he's stepped into a larger role and reorganized his team and energized them into a new direction, and in the face of the uncertainty that the coronavirus has injected into this year's recruiting cycle. And the final nominee for the Staff Leadership Award is our Dean of Students, David Leedy. And David has done, despite the exceptional challenges of this year, many of which have already been mentioned, has remained a steadfast and reliable voice to his peers, certainly to those who have the privilege of working with him on a daily basis, and those who work for him. And so it's my pleasure this evening to announce that our Staff Leadership Award for 2020 goes to Megan Dishman. Megan, many congratulations. Very well deserved. All right, now I'll hand it off to Dr. Harry Bleetler, the Program Chair for Media, Culture, and the Arts.
Thank you, President Gibson. The MCA Capstone Award of Excellence, voted on by the MCA faculty, is given to the MCA senior whose capstone project is most exceptional. Winners in the past have produced television and film scripts, a full-length play, and a one-man performance of Macbeth. In his capstone project, our first nominee is Kim Chin Koi, who was advised by Natalie Nakamura, creative director at the King's College. In his capstone project titled Figures, Koi created a series of illustrations that explores the complexity of emotions formed between individuals and the self. Initially, his plan was to showcase his artwork through an interactive mixed media exhibition that included large-scale prints, an interactive chess sculpture, and a light show in the Student Union. However, due to the pandemic, he was forced to make changes. Koi pivoted to creating work that was scaled down in size by reducing the components of his project to their simplest and most basic forms. He has now enabled the public to access and print out his project from his own website, which allows participants to engage with his work by using everyday materials found at home. Our second nominee is Mercedes Ronander, who was advised by Dr. Stephen Salyers, Associate Professor of Communications and Humanities. Mercedes' capstone project involved the writing of a full script for the pilot episode of a science fiction fantasy television series entitled Keystone. In addition, she created what the television industry calls a TV series Bible. This is an in-depth blueprint of the show that describes the story world, tone, plots, locations, and characters, and how each develops during season 1 and beyond. Her main goal for this series was to build a full and cohesive world, including the development of hundreds of years of back history, a mythological foundation on which this world rests, and even the creation of a lost ancient language. Mercedes has been working on Keystone for almost 8 years. Our third nominee is Caitlin Smith, who was advised by Virginia Pike, lecturer in musical theater. Caitlin's capstone project was the performance of the musical theater showcase at the popular Theater District Cabaret Club, Don't Tell Mama, on December 6, 2019. Caitlin produced the show, making all the arrangements, including booking the room, hiring professional musicians, and inviting agents. Her performance included songs written by the likes of Stephen Sondheim, Stephen Schwartz, William Finn, and Billy Joel. She was also performed a duet with Broadway leading man Michael Campano, previously seen in the Cher Show and the hit musical Wicked in the role of Fiyero. She also handled all of her own marketing and advertising, sending out invitations to friends, family, and theater professionals, all of which led to her having a standing room only house the night of her performance. Note, all 3 nominees have made their capstone projects available online. For links to these sites, email me, Dr. Bleetler, at hbleetler@tkc.edu, and I will send you the links. And the MCA Capstone Award of Excellence goes to Mercedes Ronander. The premise or pitch of Keystone is as follows. When a rapacious dictator bent on genocide comes into power, a quiet healer must restore the powerful identity she's forgotten in order to restore the kingdom she helped him undermine. This high fantasy explores the oppression and eventual liberation of a class of citizens who have the ability to control the elements of nature. Congratulations, Mercedes and fellow nominees, for your outstanding work this year. And now I turn things over to Dr. Ethan Campbell.
Thanks, Dr. Bleetler. The MCA Academic Excellence Award is given to the MCA senior who has demonstrated academic excellence in his or her King's career and who shows great potential in pursuing graduate education work in the fields of media, culture, and the arts. The award is based on grade point average and faculty recommendations. Now, just to clarify, the award is given to a senior in the MCA program, which encompasses 3 majors at King's: MCA, English, and Journalism. And the reason why I'm the one announcing it this year is that this year, for the first time, the award is going to an English major. So this student came to King's from a small town in the Mountain West in the fall of 2016. And I could tell from the very first essay that she wrote in college writing class, which was about that small town, that she was a student of uncommon writing talent and work ethic. And I was really happy that she was going to be among the first students in our new English major program. Over the next 3 years, she took just about every literature course that we had to offer, from Shakespeare to Russian novels. She was a leader in the classroom. But what really piqued her interest more than anything else was Old and Middle English literature and also medieval history in courses with our history professor, Dr. Steele Brand. For 2 years, she worked as my faculty assistant and as a faculty assistant for Dr. Brand. She tutored students in writing and in Western Civ classes, and in her capacity as an FA for me, she was a tireless cheerleader for the English program. She met with many prospective students, some of whom are at King's now. She started a newsletter for English majors and literature minors, which she called the Bardley Tidings, which gave her a chance to make lots of jokes with literary puns. And last fall, she spent a semester at Oxford University, taking courses in Old English language and literature at the top program of its kind in the world, the program that was built by Professor J.R.R. Tolkien. This coming fall, she will start pursuing a PhD in English at the University of Washington with a focus on medieval literature. I think we all know who I'm talking about at this point, so let's put her picture up here. This year's MCA Academic Excellence Award goes to Amelia Lahoset. Congratulations, Amelia. It's a pleasure to know you, and it's been a privilege to see you through this part of your journey. Now for the next award, I'll turn it over to Dr. Joshua Kinlaw.
Good evening. It's my pleasure tonight to present the Humanities Academic Excellence Award. It's given to the humanities senior who's demonstrated academic excellence in his or her King's career and who shows great potential in humanities-related work, study, or research in the future. This award, too, is based on GPA and faculty recommendations. The humanities major is in its third year of its existence. It continues to grow, but it's still small enough that I'm happy to say I personally know each of our graduates this year, including tonight's nominees. They are Aaron Cho, Ava Grossman, and Sarah Stettheimer. Aaron Cho hopes to continue life after graduation, teaching at a classical charter school in Texas. Ava Grossman was Director of Communications for this past year's student cabinet, a proud native of the state of Iowa. And Sarah Stettheimer is a familiar and friendly presence on campus and a challenging questioner in class. Again, it's been a pleasure to get to know each of these three. This year's winner came to the King's College the same semester I did, and it's been a pleasure to watch their progress from a required introductory course in college writing to beyond. An accomplished violinist and an aspiring Latinist, this student will graduate tomorrow summa cum laude, but more importantly, she can explain the case and declension of that Latin word laude. She's also the most likely to bring baked goods to her class or send her professor or classmates classical music to study by. She's made me proud to be at the college. This year's winner is Ava Grossman. Congrats, Ava. With that, I'll turn it over to our esteemed chair of the Philosophy, Politics, and Economics program, Dr. David Innes.
The PPE Award is bestowed by election of the PPE faculty on the graduating senior judged to be outstanding in academic achievement, sagacity, godliness, and King's mission-fulfilling promise. The decision this year was especially difficult. The nominees were Holly Chevelle, Rachel Shin, Abigail Smith, and Zachary Wagner. To all of you, congratulations on the especially high esteem in which your professors hold you. Our 2020 PPE Award winner arrived as a Founders Scholar and proved to be entirely worthy of that honor. She was founder and president of Students for Life on our campus, an important enhancement to student life. She served as interregnum committee chairwoman under especially challenging conditions, but she led the team in pulling off a great event entirely by remote access. She served as faculty assistant to Dr. David Corbin, 2017 to 2018, on the Special Committee on Spiritual Formation, 2018, as assistant to Vice President Kimberly Thornbury, 2019, and in her senior year, she was administrator of Professor Johnson's Center for Hebraic Thought. Dr. Steele Brand offered this praise: "I will always be envious that there are professors who had you in more classes than I did. I can't count how many times I would come home to my wife and praise something you said or did. You have a sharp intellect, a clear head for leadership, an efficient mind for administration, and an inspiring sense of duty." And all her professors would join Dr. Brand in saying, "Thank you for allowing me to teach you." The 2020 PPE Award winner is Abigail Smith. Time for applause. I now cede the stage to my colleague, Professor Paul Glader.
Good evening. I'm delighted to present the Roberta Green Amundsen Journalism Award, which is presented to a senior student who has demonstrated excellence in journalism through achievement in the Empire State Tribune and at professional journalism internships while maintaining a high academic standing. And we have 4 incredible nominees. Morgan Chittum has served as managing editor at the Empire State Tribune and has interned at the New York Daily News and American Banker. She will be a Poynter Koch Journalism Fellow this coming year. Jillian Cheney has served as editor of the EST magazine this year and is interned at the New York Daily News and Glass Quarterly magazine. She will also be a Poynter Koch Journalism Fellow this coming year, working with religionunplugged.com, an award-winning nonprofit online news magazine based right here in New York City. Callie Pattison has interned at Bold TV, Real Vision, MSNBC, and most recently Today.com with NBC News, where she's written at least one story that got nearly 1 million views. She's and written many other stories. She's been a leader of the ESTV, the broadcast outlet of the Empire State Tribune. And Cassidy Vavra has worked at the New York Daily News and the Sun news outlet, most recently from the UK. The Roberta Green Amundsen Award this year goes to Jillian Cheney. Applause. Jillian came to King's as a highly decorated high school journalist and quickly impressed us in the first class of JCS majors at the school. She broke stories her freshman year and demonstrated ongoing commitment to both rigorous and fair reporting throughout her time as a student journalist. This award, because it recognizes high academic achievement, it must also be noted that Jillian has the highest GPA of all graduating JCS seniors. Finally, I want to say a couple of words about Jillian's character. Jillian is a young woman who demonstrates politeness to everyone she meets. She's intellectually curious. She's intelligent, but not arrogant. She is tough, but she is also fair. She is joyful, but not sappy. She is skeptical, but she is not cynical. So Jillian, you will need all these qualities and skills as you head into a tough economy and a tough profession, but you are well equipped. Congratulations on your award. Professor Lisi and I know each of these graduating student journalists will continue to go far as storytellers, truth seekers, and people of character, and we are immensely proud of each of you. Next up is Dr. Kimberly Reeve.
Thank you, Professor Glatter. Good evening. The Joe T. Ford Award, given in honor of former chairman and CEO of Alltel, is presented by the Business and Finance program to a graduating student who has demonstrated excellence in the business disciplines taught at King's. The faculty selects a student who has modeled intelligence, integrity, humility, truth, and grace under pressure. The recipient must exhibit leadership and courage while showing a willingness to effect change in the global business world. Additionally, he or she must be a role model and demonstrate a history of investing in others. We have 3 nominees for this year's award. Benjamin Cook is an all-around Renaissance man who does as well in the classroom as he does on the theater stage. He served as a faculty advisor for many of us, led his CapSim team to a global victory, has a GPA that is 0.2 higher than any other business or finance grad this year. He is graduating summa cum laude, and he does it all with grace and humility. Next is Merrick Pope, the face of our business and finance department. He shared his expertise and helped all of our students as a faculty assistant for half of the classes offered in the business and finance department. He's now graduating cum laude. An entrepreneur who has done everything from taking 18 credits a semester to walking dogs to setting up the city room to graduating without debt, in a suit, and with a smile on his face. And last, we have Paris Welker-Weidel, a model of grace and humility, the student every professor wants in their class, who sits in the front row, answers every question, asks even better questions, has an incredible work ethic, and does whatever it takes to complete each assignment with excellence. She brings calm and order to her fellow team members, a true business professional and a woman of integrity. She's graduating cum laude. It was tough to choose from this amazing group, but I'm pleased to announce that the Joe T. Ford winner for 2020 is Ben Cook, graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor's of Science in Finance. When I asked our faculty for their thoughts about Ben, every one of them paused and then said, "Wow, where do I even begin?" Ben, we'll miss your can-do attitude, your pursuit of excellence, and your desire to help humbly in any and every way. We can't wait to see what God has in store for you. Congratulations, Ben. And now I'll pass it over to Dean Leedy.
Thank you, Dr. Reeve. Well, it is my privilege to present 3 awards tonight. The first is the William R. Bright Award. The William R. Bright Award is presented to a graduating senior who embodies the same passion for reaching others for Jesus Christ as that of Bill Bright, the late founder of Crew, who also, by the way, played a pivotal role in refounding the King's College in New York City 21 years ago. So our nominees tonight include Aaron Cho. Aaron, his freshman year, took part in the King's outreach trip to Cuba. Then the summer of 2017, he journeyed to the Czech Republic to take part in an outreach English camp there. The next summer, in 2018, he interned with the Catholic Medical Mission Board. In the fall of 2019, he interned at the Philos Project with a focus on Christian advocacy in the Middle East. He currently teaches English as a second language to immigrant populations in New York City. He has been the serving coordinator and community group leader at his church, the House of Lewis service coordinator, and house scholar. Those who know Aaron testify to his humility and concern for others, and I hear he is also a very accomplished baker. Next is Ivan Denizak. During his entire time at King's, Ivan has served in various youth ministries in the city. He currently works as youth support coordinator at Mercy First, a child welfare agency in the city. And for the past 3 years, he has volunteered with New York Gospel Ministries Food Pantry 2 nights per week, stocking food for those in need there. Ivan's joyful spirit and servant heart are absolutely contagious, and I will miss seeing him on campus in the years to come. And lastly, Taylor Dickerson. Taylor was a United Nations intern for the World Evangelical Movement. She was service coordinator for the King's College this academic year and helped organize this year's massive day of service, working with various organizations throughout the city. She was the founder and president of the International Justice Mission chapter at the King's College, Service Associate for the House of Ten Boom, and Child Care Volunteer with Young Lives Astoria. She has served well, and she has made a huge difference in our community. So it's my honor to announce Erin Cho as this year's William R. Bright Award. Congratulations, Erin. Next is the William Wilberforce Award. The Wilberforce Award is presented to a graduate senior who emulates William Wilberforce's commitment to transforming society. Elected to Parliament in 1780, Wilberforce spent 26 years fighting to abolish the British slave trade. And thanks to his efforts, in 1807, the House of Commons passed the Slave Trade Act, which abolished slave trafficking throughout the British Empire. Our nominees tonight include Sarah Fox. Sarah did 2 internships during her last couple of years at King's with the New York City Department of Probation, supervising youth trips and educational workshops. She was the vice president of The Table, an Empire State Tribune staff reporter, a King's debate member. And I can tell you this about Sarah. She is a woman with a gentle spirit, yet a powerful voice. And I will miss that voice on campus. Next is Abigail Murphy. This semester, Abigail served as the leadership development intern at the Fearless Project. She was president of the Publius Society, vice president of Students for Life, and spiritual life associate for the House of Corrie ten Boom. She has been a steady, delightful force for good in our community over the past 4 years. And then lastly, Abby Smith. Abby was the founder and president for 2 years of TKC Students for Life. She was a faculty assistant for Dr. David Corbin. She was interregnum committee chair this academic year, and she is the one who proposed the theme Progress, which became the theme that, or interregnum theme for the year. She was instrumental, as already noted, in the launch of the Center for Hebraic Thought at the King's College, where she served as administrator this academic year. Abby is a true intellectual activist, a rare combination. So it's my privilege to announce Abby Smith as the winner of the William Wilberforce Award. Congratulations, Abby. And lastly, the Harriet Tubman Award. The Harriet Tubman Award is granted to a graduating senior who has exemplified servant leadership to the King's community. The award is granted in honor of Harriet Tubman, who, after escaping from slavery in 1849, dedicated the rest of her life to rescuing and serving others via the Underground Railroad. Our nominees include Jackson Fordyce. Jackson was a member of the men's soccer team his freshman year. He was a 2-term honor council representative the past 2 years. He was a student services representative at King's for 3 years, a 2-term interregnum committee member, faculty assistant to Dr. Kimberly Reeve. He was had the column. He won the column of the year. Or he was the Column of the Year award recipient at the College Media Awards and Culture Writer of the Year. He also served as youth program coordinator for Lower Manhattan Community Church for 3 years and recruited many students at King's to do the same. He has been called a Renaissance man, and we will miss his presence on campus. Kim Chien Khoi, a dear member of our community who hails from Cambodia. For the past 3 years, Khoi has served as a graphic designer at the King's College, helping King's to produce incredibly high quality marketing materials and serving the community in that way. Over the past 4 years, Khoi has always been willing and ready to jump in and represent the college and serve in whatever way he can when asked, especially with international students and others in our community. Khoi is one of the most sincere and kind individuals I've ever known, and his presence shall be missed. And then lastly, Abby Smith. I've already mentioned some qualities and contributions about Abby in an earlier award. So it's my joy to announce the Harriet Tubman Award winner is Jackson Fordyce. Congratulations, Jackson. Well, I want to as we close, invite all of you to join us for commencement tomorrow at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have not registered, you can do so at classof2020.tkc.edu, classof2020.tkc.edu. So I want to thank all of you for tuning in tonight. It's been a privilege to be with you, and it's been even more of a privilege to spend the last 3 and 4 years with all of our graduate seniors. And I immensely appreciate all that you've done for our community, the ways you've invested, the ways you've cared, the ways you have left your mark on so many of our lives and upon this college. So thank you. And with that, I would invite you to join me in prayer, closing in prayer. Father, we pause at the end of this 4-year journey to thank you. Thank you for what these awards and nominations symbolize. Months and years of striving, investing, serving, shaping this community in myriad ways. All these nominees have invested much and served well. You have seen and taken delight in their labor of love, and we thank you for them. We thank you for the past 4 years. Thank you for the education, the friendships, the memories, the challenges, the victories, the life lessons, the personal growth. And as these graduates prepare to move beyond Kings and embark on new adventures in these very uncertain and troubled times, we claim for each of them the truth of Jeremiah 29, verse 11. I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So may each of them in the months and years to come discover all that you have prepared for them. Raise them up and use them, pave the way for them, prosper them, bless them, and keep them. In Jesus' name, amen.